All right, hello everyone. So today what I want to do is take your lighting up a notch. So this is the way my lighting looks right now. I feel like it looks pretty good. So I'm going to show you how I made this happen. So first thing that we're going to do is I'm actually going to go up here and look for my lights, or just light. And anything light-wise, I'm going to delete. And go ahead and you can do that as well. And I'm also going to delete my sun and sky. And let there be darkness. All right, so the first thing I want to do is go ahead and go to my plugins here and search for sun. Click on that, and then once you do, you'll have to restart your level. So let's go ahead now after you've restarted your level, and we're going to add lights, sun and sky. Click, drag, and drop. And that's going to give us these settings over here under sun and sky. You've got the skylight, the directional light, and the sky atmosphere. So the directional light is, think of it as the sun. The skylight takes into consideration the sun and illuminates the clouds and kind of creates the entire planet, if you will. And then the sky atmosphere is basically what it sounds like. It gives you that feeling of particles in the atmosphere. So with those selected, I'm going to start off with going to a post-process volume, and then I'm going to come back to these and do some changes. So if you have a post-process volume, it would be right here. All you need to do is select it and start changing some parameters. If you do not have a post-process volume, you can go ahead and add from all classes, just search for, it's under volumes, but the all classes things really help. So click, drag, and drop to bring it in. You only need one. And then we're going to make sure that it is set to infinite. And that's this little click right here. So now what we'll do is we're going to go back to our sun sky here, and I'm going to go to my directional light first. And under intensity here, I'm going to lower that down, maybe to 10,000, maybe even 1,000. Okay, so what that does is that actually lowers the intensity of the sun. And if yours doesn't look quite like this right now, don't worry about it. It's probably something to do with your post-process volume settings. I've already kind of set up my post-process volume, so it probably looks better. But then what you want to look for is exposure, okay? Turn on auto exposure, and you can play with the exposure compensation to get it to feel how you want. And then there's also what we call localized exposure, which is down here. And this is going to give you the lighting contrast inside of your room by playing with this one. And, just playing with your detail scale will give you a softness or a sharpness to your objects. Blurred luminescence gives it that atmospheric kind of feel. So just kind of play with these local exposure settings to find what feels the most realistic to you. Okay, and I'm going to bring back my sun exposure, or maybe my just exposure here. Bring it back down a little bit more. Because I'm going to add some more lights to kind of clean up some of the artifacting and stuff that we can see here. So you can see these are the models for the sun sky setup. And if you click on the sun sky by itself, you can change the latitude and longitude. Where are you in the world right now, which is a lot of fun. So you get different kinds of skies based on your time zone. Oh, look at that. So you can find kind of what you're looking for. And then sky atmosphere here, I can change all kinds of fun stuff to give it the atmosphere I want. So that's a lot of fun. Just play with those to get kind of the scene that you want. Now it's like this weird middle day kind of lighting in here. But I'm going to change a lot of that just by adding rectangle lights. So rectangle lights are basically like, you know, you might see fluorescent lights with a diffuser on it or something like that. So under lighting here, rectangle lights, they're pretty easy to deal with. And that's why I like to use them. So if I put that in here and hit the space bar to rotate the direction of the light, you can see it kind of falling off. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit space bar a couple of times just to bring it to this setting here, because I want to kind of put it up high towards the top here. And then I'm going to make it really big. So I'm going to go to a top view, and then I'm going to pull it this way. And if I change the scale on it by hitting the space bar, I can increase the diameter of that radius of, it's basically how much it scatters the light as it's moving through the space. Then I'm also going to change the source width to match the size of my room. And the source height, I'm going to pull out this way. And then I'm going to go back to perspective just to take a look at what it's done. And then because it's so big, you're actually going to have to max out the intensity on it quite a bit. All right, so next step is to go ahead and add a few more. But by default, these come in static, and we've got to change it to movable. Movable lights are what we use in the Unreal Engine 5. So we're going to just go ahead and use that for now. Go to a top view, and I'm going to Control-C or Command-C if you have a Mac. Copy and paste. And put them there. Control V again. Spacebar to rotate. Spacebar again twice to switch it to move. And I'm going to actually make this one a little bit bigger so that it takes up more space, but it also covers the area I need for my sculpture on the end there. Okay, back to perspective. I think I'm going to bump up the exposure a little bit, or on the lighting, on the sun. So let's go to sun, sky, directional light. And I don't know how I feel about that time of day. But let's go to the sun again, sun, sky. And let's go to the skylight and play with the intensity of the skylight a little bit. So find a sweet spot where you like that. Indirect lighting, bump that up a little bit, maybe to 1. And then let's go back over here and have a look. And some of these objects might need a little bit more lighting, and we can do that with maybe adding a spotlight. So let's go to Add, Lights, Spotlight. Oops. And playing up the intensity of the spotlight. And then change the inverse square fall off to off. And then I can change the radius of the cone. And there we go. And then I might want to do another spotlight elsewhere, depending on, you know, like how well lit. It all seems good, actually. All right, so once you get the lighting kind of nailed down where you want it, you are ready to start playing with materials and stuff. So I will start playing with materials in the next video.